April 15th, 1 Kings 8 and 9. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel, and all the heads of the tribes, the chief fathers of the children of Israel, to sovereign Solomon in Jerusalem, to bring up the ark of the covenant of Yah from the city of David, which is Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled to sovereign Solomon at the festival in the month of Ethanim, which is the 7th new moon. And all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark, and brought up the ark of Yah, and the tent of appointment, and all the set-apart utensils that were in the tent. And the priests and the Levites brought them up. And sovereign Solomon and all the congregation of Israel, who had assembled with him, were with him before the ark, slaughtering so many sheep and cattle that they could not be counted or numbered. And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of Yah to its place, into the speaking place of the house, to the most set-apart place, under the wings of the cherubim. For the cherubim spread 2 wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubim covered over the ark and its poles. And the poles extended, so that the ends of the poles were seen from the set-apart place in front of the speaking place, but they were not seen from the outside, and they are there to this day. There was not in the ark only the 2 tablets of stone, which Moses had put there at Horeb, where Yah had made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to be, when the priests came out of the set-apart place, that the cloud filled the house of Yah. So the priests were unable to stand and perform the service because of the cloud, for the esteem of Yah filled the house of Yah. And Solomon said, Yah has said he would dwell in the dark cloud. I have indeed built you an exalted house, an established place for you to dwell in forever. And the sovereign turned around and blessed all the assembly of Israel, while all the assembly of Israel was standing. And he said, Blessed be Yah, Elohim of Israel, who spoke with his mouth to my father David, and with his hand has filled it, saying, Since the day I brought my people, Israel, out of Egypt, I have chosen no city from any tribe of Israel in which to build a house for my name to be there. But I chose David to be over my people Israel. It was in the heart of my father David to build a house for the name of Yah Elohim of Israel. But Yah said to my father David, Because it has been in your heart to build a house for my name, you did well that it was in your heart. Only you do not build the house, but your son, who is coming from your loins, he does build the house for my name. Now Yah has established his word which he spoke, and I have been raised up instead of my father David, and sit on the throne of Israel, as Yah promised, and built a house for the name of Yah Elohim of Israel, and have appointed there a place for the ark, wherein is the covenant of Yah, which he made with our fathers, when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. And Solomon stood before the slaughter place of Yah, in front of the assembly of Israel, and spread out his hands toward the heavens, and said, Yah Elohim of Israel, there is no Elohim in the heavens above, or on the earth below, like you, guarding your covenant and loving commitment with your servants who walk before you with all their heart. Who has guarded that which you did promise, your servant David my father? Indeed, you have both spoken with your mouth, and have filled it with your hand, as it is this day. And now, Yah Elohim of Israel, guard what you promised your servant David, my father, saying, There is not to cease a man of yours before me, sitting on the throne of Israel, only if your sons guard their way, to walk before me, as you have walked before me. And now, O Elohim of Israel, please let your word come true, which you have spoken to your servant David, my father. For is it true, Elohim dwells on the earth? See, the heavens, and the heavens of the heavens, are unable to contain you. How much less this house which I have built? Yet you shall turn to the prayer of your servant, and his supplication, O Yah my Elohim, and listen to the cry and the prayer which your servant is praying before you today. For your eyes to be open toward this house night and day, toward the place of which you said, my name is there, to listen to the prayer which your servant makes toward this place. Then shall you hear the supplication of your servant and of your people Israel when they pray toward this place, when you hear in your dwelling place in the heavens. And shall you hear and forgive? If anyone sins against his neighbor, and he has lifted up an oath on him to cause him to swear, and comes and swears before your slaughter place in this house, then hear in the heavens, and act and rightly rule your servants, declaring the wrongdoer wrong, bringing his way on his head, and declaring the righteous right by giving him according to his righteousness. When your people Israel are smitten before an enemy, because they have sinned against you, and they shall turn back to you and confess your name, and pray and make supplication to you in this house, then hear in the heavens, and forgive the sin of your people, and bring them back to the land which you gave to their fathers. When the heavens are shut up, and there is no rain because they sin against you, when they prayed toward this place and confess your name, and turn from their sin because you afflict them, then hear in the heavens, and forgive the sin of your servants, your people Israel. For you teach them the good way in which they should walk, and shall give rain on your land, which you have given to your people as an inheritance. When there is scarcity of food in the land, when there is pestilence, blight, mildew, locusts, grasshoppers, when their enemy distresses them in the land of their cities, any plague, any sickness, whatever prayer, whatever supplication made by anyone of all your people Israel, each knowing the plague of his own heart, and shall spread out his hands toward this house, then hear in the heavens, your dwelling place, and forgive, and act and render unto everyone according to all his ways, whose heart you know, because you alone, know the hearts of all the sons of men, so that they fear you all the days that they live in the land which you gave our fathers. Also concerning a foreigner who is not of your people Israel, but has come from a far land for your name's sake, since they hear of your great name, and your strong hand, and your outstretched arm, and he shall come and pray toward this house. Hear in the heavens your dwelling place, and do according to all for which the foreigner calls to you, so that all peoples of the earth know your name, and fear you, as do your people Israel, and know that this house which I have built is called by your name. When your people go out to battle against their enemy, in the way that you send them, and they shall pray to Yah toward the city which you have chosen, and toward the house which I have built for your name, then shall you hear in the heavens their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause? When they sin against you, for there is no one who does not sin, and you become enraged with them, and give them to the enemy, and they take them captive to the land of the enemy, far or near, and they shall turn back unto their heart in the land where they have been taken captive, and shall turn and make supplication to you in the land of those who took them captive, saying, We have sinned and acted crookedly, and have committed wrong. And they shall turn back to you with all their heart, and with all their being in the land of their enemies, who led them away captive, and shall pray to you toward their land, which you gave to their fathers, the city which you have chosen, and the house which I have built for your name. Then you shall hear in the heavens your dwelling place their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause, and forgive your people who have sinned against you, and all their transgressions which they have transgressed against you, and give them compassion before those who took them captive, and they shall have compassion on them. For they are your people, and your inheritance, whom you brought out of Egypt, out of the iron furnace. Let your eyes be open to the supplication of your servant, and the supplication of your people Israel, to listen to them whenever they call to you. For you have separated them unto yourself for an inheritance, out of all the peoples of the earth, as you spoke by the hand of your servant Moses, when you brought our fathers out of Egypt, O Master Yah. And it came to be, when Solomon had ended praying all this prayer and supplication to Yah, that he rose up from before the slaughter place of Yah, from kneeling on his knees with his hands spread up to the heavens. And he stood and blessed all the assembly of Israel with a loud voice, saying, Blessed be Yah, who has given rest to his people Israel, according to all that he promised. There has not failed one word of all his good word, which he promised through his servant Moses. Yah, our Elohim, is with us as he was with our fathers. He does not leave us or forsake us, to incline our hearts to himself, to walk in all his ways, and to guard his commands, and his laws and his right rulings, which he commanded our fathers. And let these words of mine, with which I have made supplication before Yah, be near Yah, our Elohim, day and night, to maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people, Israel, the matter of each day in its day, so that all the peoples of the earth might know that Yah is Elohim, there is no one else. Let your heart therefore be perfect to Yah, our Elohim, to walk in his laws and guard his commands, as at this day. And the sovereign and all Israel with him slaughtered slaughterings before Yah. And Solomon slaughtered slaughterings of peace offerings, which he slaughtered to Yah, 22,000 bulls and 120,000 sheep. Thus the sovereign and all the children of Israel dedicated the house of Yah. On that day the sovereign set apart the middle of the courtyard that was in front of the house of Yah, for there he made ascending offerings, and the grain offerings, and the fat of the peace offerings, because the bronze slaughter place that was before Yah was too small to contain the ascending offerings, and the grain offerings, and the fat of the peace offerings. And Solomon at that time performed the festival, and all Israel with him, a great assembly, from the entrance of Hamath to the Wadi of Egypt, before Yah our Elohim, 7 days and 7 nights. 7 days and 7 days, 14 days. On the 8th day he sent the people away, and they blessed the sovereign, and went to their tents, rejoicing and glad of heart, for all the goodness that Yah had done for his servant David, and for Israel his people. 1 Kings 9. And it came to be, when Solomon had finished building the house of Yah, and the house of the sovereign, and all the desire of Solomon which he pleased to do, that Yah appeared to Solomon the second time, as he had appeared to him at Gibeon. And Yah said to him, I have heard your prayer and your supplication that you made before me. I have set this house apart, which you have built, to put my name there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall always be there. And you, if you walk before me as your father David walked, in integrity of heart, and in uprightness, to do according to all that I have commanded you, if you guard my laws and my right rulings, then I establish the throne of your reign over Israel forever, as I promised David your father, saying, There is not to cease a man of yours on the throne of Israel. But if you at all turn back, you or your sons, from following me, and do not guard my commands, my laws, which I have set before you, but shall go and serve other mighty ones, and bow yourselves to them, then I shall cut off Israel from the face of the soil which I have given them, and send away from my presence this house, which I have set apart for my name. And Israel shall be a proverb and a mockery among all the peoples. And this house, which has been exalted, everyone who passes by it shall be astonished, and hiss, and say, Why has Yah done thus to this land and to this house? Then they shall say, Because they have forsaken Yah their Elohim, who brought their fathers out of the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, and took hold of other mighty ones, and bowed themselves to them, and served them. That is why Yah has brought all this evil on them. And it came to be at the end of 20 years, that Solomon had built the 2 houses, the house of Yah, and the house of the sovereign. Hiram, the sovereign of Sor, had supplied Solomon with cedar and cypress and gold, as much as he desired. Then sovereign Solomon gave Hiram 20 cities in the land of Galil. And Hiram came from Tsor to see the cities which Solomon had given him, but they were not right in his eyes. And he said, "What are these cities you have given me, my brother?" And he called them the land of Kabul, as they are to this day. And Hiram sent the sovereign 120 talents of gold. And this is the purpose of the compulsory labor which sovereign Solomon raised to build the house of Yah, and his own house, and Millo, and the wall of Jerusalem, and Hatzor, and Megiddo, and Gezer. Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, had gone up and taken Gezer and burned it with fire, and had killed the Canaanites who dwelt in the city, and had given it as a payment for the bride to his daughter, Solomon's wife. And Solomon built Gezer and lower Beth Horon, and Baalath, and Tamar in the wilderness, in the land of Judah, and all the stronghold, and all the storage cities that Solomon had, and the cities for his chariots, and the cities for his cavalry, and whatever Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem, and in Lebanon, and in all the land of his rule. And all the people who were left of the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, who were not of the children of Israel, their descendants were left in the land after them, whom the children of Israel had not been able to destroy completely. From these Solomon raised compulsory labor, as it is to this day. But Solomon did not make slaves of the children of Israel, because they were men of battle, and his servants, and his rulers, and his officers, and commanders of his chariots and his cavalry. These were the chiefs of the officials who were over the work of Solomon, 550 who ruled over the people who did the work. But the daughter of Pharaoh came up from the city of David to her house that he built for her. Then he built Millo. And 3 times a year Solomon brought ascending offerings and peace offerings on the slaughter place which he had built for Yah. And he burned incense with that which was before Yah. Thus gave completeness to the house. And sovereign Solomon built a fleet of ships at Yitzon-Geber, which is near the Eloth on the shore of the Sea of Reeds, in the land of Edom. And Hiram sent his servants with the fleet, seamen who knew the seas, to work with the servants of Solomon. And they went to Ophir, and took 420 talents of gold from there, and brought it to sovereign Solomon.